Hi class, guess what? You'll never believe what I found on the web. This is good stuff. Hilltop Kite Festivals. So let's look at the grading just to refresh you all. The home page should reflect your personal taste. All other pages must be based on the liquid 2-column layout. Each page must have at least 2 images in the content division. Each page must have a title header that indicates which page the user is on. Title headers must be in the content division. Use correct folder structures and naming conventions. That means no spaces or special characters. All pages must display a disclaimer of your choice in the footer division. All CSS will be external. In other words, it will be linked and it will be in a CSS folder with a CSS extension. Demonstrate the use of element groups, so that's a CSS thing. Demonstrate the use of classes, another CSS thing. Link styles must be defined, and all pages must have a title. All pages must have a CSS navigation in the left navigation division. It must use site root relative paths. Now, the reason I did that for you is so that you could create one page and be able to easily copy that page into other pages, and a lot of you aren't taking advantage of that. Okay, and it's just so that the links will work and the text-based navigation when you make a copy of your page, so you don't have to change all the links on every page. You just do it once and it just works in every other page if you do site root relative links. All pages must have a text-based navigation in the footer, and they also must use a site root relative path, and all pages must have a background color. All divisions and image tags should employ the ID attribute. You should ID all divisions and images. All images should appear correctly with no broken images. All pages need to validate, and all pages need the W3C XHTML 1.0 logo in the footer division. And the last thing, no broken links. Let's look at what some of your classmates did. Alright, Hilltop Kite Festival. This is very nice. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that I was able to provide you a method to create a banner after the fact. After you had already completed this project, several of you went in and added banners. So I like what you've done with the place. This is pretty cool. Okay, so you got a little banner up here. There's your list nav. Look at what your classmate did. How cool is that? They went out and created all of these little different images for the background on the hover state. That is very slick. Very nice. I'm impressed with that. So you took the basic navigation and you ran with it and changed it up to suit your needs. So let's click through the pages. This is the contest rules. It's very nicely formatted. I would have this if we had more CSS skill. If I'd given you some more and some more time, some more instruction and more time, I would have this image align with the top of this header right here. I think it would look a little bit better there. But as it is pretty good. And you've got a margin here, so you're pushing your text away from your image. That's very nice. And this looks good. You've got your text-based navigation with all your LVFHA defined down at the bottom, your W3C logo, and your disclaimer. Very nice. This looks good. Let's click on Event Schedule and see what you did. And this will be a brief run-through of several pages from several different students, because we have 15 minutes on YouTube. You got you a table. Very nice. Everything is formatted very well. It looks like you're using H2s there and probably an H3 here. Your bulleted lists look very nice, and your margin and padding is great. Gallery, very well done. Now the one thing that I noticed is that these images load very slowly, so what that means to me is you probably have the full-size image and it's pulling them all down. And what you had done is probably gone into Dreamweaver and pulled the corner up to resize it within Dreamweaver. Now the correct way to do this would be using Fireworks or Photoshop or some other image editing application to resize these little thumbnail images, okay, and create new images out of the originals that are smaller. Let's look at the press. But just to go back, I'm very impressed with this. This looks very nice. You took the tutorial, you were able to use it in a real project, so very well done. Oh, by the way, just to mention this, I love the little kite and the left navigation here. Fantastic. That's a great skill to have, to be able to work that in and get the background colors right. So it looks like you took some time to do that, and I'd like to acknowledge it. This looks really nice here. Just floating out here, this image. You got all your text to justify and wrap around it. So fantastic. Very good project. Let's look at another one. I like this. All right. Got your custom text up here in an image. Let's look at your event schedule page. Very nice. So it looks like you have, I'm not sure what you did here. Yeah, well, yeah, it looks like you did a custom image with this cloud background with the text on top. So it looks very nice. And I like your color scheme. Looks like this is what I would characterize as a monochrome color scheme. It takes a color of blue and it adds various shades and tints to the blue. Wow, look at these rollovers. All the text is very easy to read here. And that looks great. Look at your little nav down here. That looks good. You got your LVFHA on it. Got your logo and your disclaimer. Press release. Now, one thing that I would like to see for immediate release, I think it would be interesting to take this media contact and pull it up. And what you can do is put this in its own span and then use a negative margin, like a negative 20, negative 30, negative 40, negative 50 margin to cause it, top margin, to pull it up. Negative 30 or 40 or 50 negative margin to pull it up to the top so that it aligns with this for immediate release, and I think that would look really nice. See if you can get that done. There's nothing wrong with it the way it is, but I think that would look a little bit better. Okay, this is nice. And let's see your gallery. Yeah, very well done. And when you click on the individual images, they come up. So that's very well done. Let's look at another one, Hilltop Kite Festival. Look at this banner. Okay, the one thing that I do notice immediately about this is there are no borders around these divisions at the top or around the entire content division, and I wish there were. I think that's a correction that you should make. Okay, is putting these borders on here because I just feel like this is open white space with no end. It's just open-ended. Okay, and another thing, I think that I would like to see another text other than Times New Roman. I'm not sure what text this is, but I would go with a sans serif. Okay, this list-based navigation looks very good. Let's go to contest rules. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Okay, you've got your disclaimer, your logo, and your text-based navigation. Good. Press release. Now, again, when you see these images scroll in like that, it's probably because you're using a full-size image and you've just resized it in Dreamweaver. So just to reiterate, just to tell you, going forward, this is a skill that we don't really have a lot of time to talk about. We're not a Photoshop class or a Fireworks class. We're not an image editing class, but it's really good to get into those applications and resize your images into the proper size instead of doing it in Dreamweaver. Looks good. Now, this is an interesting choice here. You've got a purple background here, and then on the home page, a blue. And purple there and blue here. So as part of branding, I would say that I would like for you to keep these all the same background color. And on your home page, yeah, I think you should go with the same background color. Okay? Let's look at another. The Hilltop Kite Festival. This text, I would feel better if it were moved up a little bit and more centered in the header banner. And I like this banner. I like this image that you processed here and put up at the top. That's great. Okay, contest rules. I like your list items over here. And not only did you do the text-based navigation, it looks like you've turned these into image links over here in the main content area. So if I click on those, let's see what happens. Good. Contest rules. I've got a little bit of margin here to push the text away, and I like the way that you've lined this up. That looks great. And you went with columns. Good for you. That looks very good. That's a unique spin, something that I haven't seen in any other project. Text-based navigation. This is a little bit awkward in Firefox. Maybe this works well in Internet Explorer. I'm not sure. Everybody, you should get used to checking your pages in both Firefox and Internet Explorer and Chrome and on a PC and a Mac. If you have access to a Macintosh, that would be a good thing to do. But this is awkward placement of your HTML 1.0 logo. But all the elements are there, so that's great. Okay. This is some nice, unique formatting. Looks good. Gallery. Looks pretty good. Got everything to line up and got all the images the same size. I like it. And it looks like if you were to click on individual items, they would open up. And let's see, where was I? Okay, here's your press page. So isn't it interesting how your other classmates think and the kind of solutions that they come up with for their projects? I think it's very interesting. Let's close that out. This right here, for some reason, I just really dig this. This is the nicest graphic for the home page, and I don't know what I like about it. I just do. It works really well. It's the shading, it's the choice of font, it's the simple graphics, but it's pretty cool for me. One thing that I think is a little bit of a strange choice, you chose that when you click on these, it would open in a new window. That I don't particularly care for. I think also over here, I think that these should be something other than the serif font that you've chosen. I think they should be a sans serif. Okay, and probably the same with the contest rules, but it's interesting. There's a contrast. Definitely lets you know that this is the header. It's a little bit different text. This looks very nice and clean. Oh, look at that. They did a little vector fade. Very nice. They've got all the elements down at the bottom. This is a strange thing when your text jumps, and I'm not real fond of the choice of hover text because I can't see it. Let's go to the gallery. Yeah, that looks great. Event schedule. Very nice. There's your table. It's formatted properly. I love these vector fades that you did. Very cool. And your press page. Yep, looks good. All right, I'm going to continue in another video.